Okay, we're starting the Mishnah Peza in Kesubos Page Amid Aleph. Like 12 lines from the bottom of the page. In the Schottenstein it's 87A3. Okay, last time we learned the Mishnah, I think we even got into the Gemara a little bit, but again, we didn't learn for months, so let's go. Okay, the story is like this. A woman has a ksuba. Now there's something called pigam. So normally the husband dies and divorces and she collects the ksuba. Right? That's normally what happens. What happens, a pigamis ksubas, a woman impairs her ksuba. That means, let's say the ksuba was $200. The woman comes and she says, no, $50 I got paid already. So you only owe me $150. Then the din is, she can only get paid only if she swears. She can't normally a woman collects the ksuba, she doesn't have to swear, right? It's a document, the husband owes her the money. But because she ruined the ksuba a little bit by saying part of it was paid, so then she has to swear that she didn't get the money yet, 150, and then she gets the 150.
But that's to her disadvantage. She has to swear.
Huh?
That's to her disadvantage.
Correct, but she was the one that ruined the ksuba by saying that she got paid part of it.
How is it ruining the ketubah? Like I said? How is ruining the ketubah? What is the pigam here? I don't understand it.
Because she said part of it was paid. The Gemara is going to talk more about it, but the simple meaning is she said part of it was paid, and because she said part of it was paid, I mean she's blemishing because normally, I'll give you an example. If I have a document you owe me $1,000, okay, and you pay me $500, I'm going to let you keep that document? No. We're going to either write a new document or we're going to write a receipt, okay? But the fact that part of it was paid ruins the power, the strength of the document. The woman says, listen, I was paid part of the ksuba already. That weakens the authority of the ksuba. So therefore, she can't just collect with the ksuba, she has to actually swear. Or again, if a witness, the woman comes and says, you owe me the ksuba, $200. One witness comes and said, no, the husband paid it all. She can only get it again because one witness is testifying against her. If it be two witnesses against her, then she would definitely get nothing. Two witnesses are testifying she got paid. One witness says that it's not, and the Gemara is going to discuss all this. Okay? One witness says it was paid, so now the woman wants to come and collect the ksuba, she has to swear. Another case, if she wants to, the husband died, and now she wants to collect the ksuba from the kids. Okay, now what's the problem with that? Maybe her father paid up the ksuba already. Maybe he paid the ksuba. They don't know. The kids don't know. They're orphans, right? They don't know what's going on. So, or if the husband sold properties to a buyer, right, and the buyer owns the property, and she wants to come and take away the properties from the buyer, or shalei b'fan if the husband's not around, the husband's out of town, in all these cases, leitipara ela b'shvur. She can only get paid, get the ksuba by swearing that she didn't get it. Okay? Now the Mishnah is discussing each one of the cases. Okay? What does it mean at Pegamis B'ksuba case? What does it mean she blemishes the ksuba? Haisik ksuba elav zuz. Let's say the ksuba was $1,000. But Amallah, and he says to her, his kabata ksuba sich. The Mishnah is adding a detail. The ksuba, she had a ksuba $1,000. The husband, she comes to collect it. The husband says, no, I get paid you already. And she said, no, I only got $100 out of the 1,000. So then, then she, in order to get the rest of it, she has to swear. The husband has no proof that he paid it. Okay? But the husband says, I paid you the ksuba already. So if she would have said, no, you didn't, and she has the ksuba, so then she would be able to collect it. But here, she ruined the ksuba by admitting that she got 100 already. So then, then she has to collect the money. Because the husband says, I paid it in full.
Why don't we force him to swear? He's saying that he paid it. Maybe he didn't pay it.
Well, we'll see that in the Gemara. Here, these things are very unique because normally you don't swear and take. You swear to get out of payment. Here, in all these cases of the woman, okay, so the Gemara is going to discuss that. What's the case? The Mishnah said, one witness said it's paid. Okay? There was a ksuba, $1,000. Va'amalan, the husband says to her, is kabalti ksubatzach, I paid you already. V'yameris is kabalti. And she says, I didn't get anything. And one witness comes and says that it was paid. So the din is like sipada ala b'shvur. She can only collect it with the shvur. Again, why? Because there's one witness testifying that she got paid in full. And because she got paid in full, the husband doesn't owe her anything. The only problem is it's one witness. One witness cannot extract money. So the only thing the witness could force her to do is swear that she didn't get it.
Can we learn it from the Isha? If Isha herself said, the ketubah, how much more even a stranger comes with 1/8. We don't need to say this.
1/8 is powerful. 1/8 makes a shvur. If I say, you owe me $1,000, you say, no, I don't. Okay, biblically, if I can't prove it, you're done, right? What happens if I say, you owe me $1,000, you say, I owe you nothing, and I bring one witness that says you owe me $1,000. If I bring two witnesses, then you have to pay me the money, there's no question. Whenever I bring one witness, so Gemara says, Eid Echad doesn't extract money, but what an Eid Echad does do, he makes me swear. So if I say, you owe me $1,000, you say, you don't, and I provide a witness that says you owe me the $1,000, you have to swear that you don't, and then you get out of it. And that's a similar case, even though Gemara is going to say it's completely different. But the way the Mishnah is saying now, the husband says, the wife says, you owe me a ksuba, you owe me $1,000. The husband said, I paid you, I owe you nothing. And then the husband brings a witness that he paid it. Right? So what does the woman have to do to collect it? She has to swear.
Shavua is very powerful.
Yeah. But the Gemara is going to explain it's not a biblical oath, it's a rabbinic oath. Okay. So what does the Mishnah mean when there were properties that the husband sold already to other people? So the husband sold the properties that were collateral for the ksuba to somebody else. And she's coming to collect from the buyers. She says, hey, I have a lien on this property before you bought it, so you have to give it to me. She has to swear. Okay? Then, what do you mean if she wants to collect from the orphans? The husband died, and the kids, the orphans, inherited it. Now she's coming to collect the ksuba from the orphans, like tipara ala b'shvur. Yeah, she can only collect by swearing. Last case.
She doesn't have the ketubah, or
she has a ksuba. But maybe the husband paid it.
Did anybody say anything? Nobody say anything.
The kids say, we don't know. Maybe the father paid it, we don't know.
We can't go just guess. He has a ketubah.
Okay, but maybe the father paid it. So therefore the Chachamim say, again, it's a rabbinic oath. Chachamim say, because there's a possibility that the father paid the ksuba, and the kids don't know, they can't say yes or no, they don't know, they're orphans, they don't know what's going on in the father's estate. So the Gemara says, if the woman wants to collect from the Yosef, she has to swear that she didn't get it.
What is the point of having ketubah in her hand? She has the ketubah, no?
No, first of all, a lot of times the husband is alive and he'll pay it. And if not, that's what this Mishnah is, that's the din of this Mishnah. If she wants to collect the ksuba from the orphans, She has to swear that she never got it. What's the big deal? She swears I never got it, then she gets it.
No, so it's weaken the power of ketubah. That the ketubah doesn't mean anything. You have a ketubah in your hand, but it doesn't mean anything.
It does.
You
The
have to swear.
Chachamim say you have to swear because maybe there's a doubt that the husband paid it.
Because we consider that
Yeah? And the last case is Shalei b'fan of Ketzad. The last case in the Mishnah, if the woman wants to collect the ksubah not in the presence of the husband, and again, he said, he went overseas, right? And now she wants to come to the estate. The husband's still alive. He's just not around. He divorced her, right? She has to swear. Okay? By the way, the Mefarshim say at the bottom that the interesting that there's not only a ksubah, it's any creditor. The creditor, okay, Pagamis, let's see, the document says $1,000, and the guy says I paid you, and he says no, you only paid me 100. Then they would have to swear. All the cases, not only by ksubah, the Mishnah mentions by ksubah, but there's really any cases you want to collect from properties bought, you have to swear. You want to collect from the guy's not around, you have to swear. Why the Chacham said you have to swear? Why? Because we want to make sure the guy didn't pay up. Because the guy is saying, I paid it.
Would this include also if, let's say, the husband went to war? Let's say he went to war or something like that. Would he have?
Yeah, he divorced her, didn't divorce her.
Oh.
If he didn't divorce her, she doesn't get a ksubah. Ksubah is only if he divorces her. Now the Gemara says when they went to David HaMelech's time, Kol hayetzim lachem es beis David, Kesef get krisis leishtei. The Gemara says in Shabbos that when they went to war, David HaMelech's soldiers, they always wrote a get before they went to war. Why? Any soldier went to war, divorced his wife. Why? If he doesn't come back in war, she stays stuck in a guna for the rest of her life, right? So they write a get, they come back, they remarry if they want.
real get, yeah?
Yeah.
Not condition, nothing.
No. Oh, it's Machlais Rashi and Taisus and Shabbos. But yeah, the simple pshat is a real get.
In our case, it looks like if she says anything, like I got the handle it, or doesn't say anything, but still, she has to make shavua. So what is the point of saying handle it or not handle it? Any case, he has to make shavua. But first case, you said that I received like handle it from the 1,000. She has to make a shavua. Other cases, even she doesn't say anything, so still she's making shavua. So what is the point of saying I got some money or not money? It still
weakens the thing.
Yeah, it still weakens.
And therefore she has to swear. But Rab Shimon, in the top of the page, Rab Shimon Eimer, calls man she teves. The Gemara is going to explain exactly what Rab Shimon is talking about because it doesn't make sense yet. Rab Shimon Eimer calls man she teves ksubasa. Anytime the woman asks the man's the ksuba, the Yarshim Ashbina, he said the orphans can make her swear. If she doesn't claim the ksuba, which again the Gemara is going to explain what this means, we don't know yet what it means, then the Yarshim cannot impose a shwan. Okay, this is what the Mishnah says. Okay, so now, we know in Torah law there's biblical oaths and there's rabbinic oaths. Okay, there's 3 biblical oaths that the Torah speaks about. One is what's called Meida B'Mixas. Meida B'Mixas say, I come to you, you owe me $100. Yeah? That document, that doesn't matter. I say you owe me $100. And you say I only owe you $50. So the Torah says, the pasuk key, who's that? You have to swear. You have to swear that I don't, that I only owe you 50, and then you don't have to pay the money. That's one. Second one we just mentioned, Eid Echad. I say you owe me $100, you say no. I bring one witness that says you owe me the $100, I have to swear that I don't owe you the money and I don't pay. Okay? The third case is a shomer, shemechinam, shemesacha, they watch for free. So then if an accident happens or a stolen loss, he has to swear. Okay? But the first 2 is relevant to our Gemara. Because l'cha'era, if you think about it, the lady that blemishes the ksuba, what's this case? The ksuba is $1,000. She comes and says, you owe me $1,000. The husband says, I owe you nothing. And then she says, yeah, you owe me only 900.
She changed your mind?
No.
No,
She comes with the ksuba to the husband.
so you owe me 1,000.
You owe me the ksuba. He says, yeah, I paid you already.
And she said, now you owe me.
And she says, no, you paid me, but only 100, not the whole 1,000. You owe me $900. So l'chayre, that's made of a mixus. It's admitting half of part. It doesn't mean half, any amount. Huh? Partial. Okay, so the Gemara says like this. Savar Rami bar Chama l'meiman, Rami bar Chama thought to say that Shvua Deiraisa, this is a biblical oath. Because again, he's asking 1,000 and she's admitting 900. Right? So it's like half. The Kotoy Masayim is like the case that the man claims that he paid 200 of the debt. The woman accepts 100. Okay? So therefore, so the woman is basically complaining to half of the admission of half the claim, and made of b'mixas, Yitaina Shava, and the made of b'mixas has to swear. This is a classic biblical case. Okay, the husband says, and the Mefarshim say, he says 200, it doesn't mean 200, because really the Ksuba in this case, the Mishnah says was 1,000, yeah? The husband says, no, the wife says, you owe me $1,000. Yeah? And then she comes along and says, you owe me 900. So why isn't that made of a mixus?
Why? It is, isn't it?
Well, that's what Rami bar Chama thought. It's a biblical oath. Rava said, no, you're wrong. Sheit Shuvas B'David. There's two answers to this question. Why you're wrong. Because we just mentioned before. Biblical oaths, you swear and you don't pay. Okay? You get out of payment. The one that swears doesn't swear and take. What's the classic case made of a mixes? I say you owe me 100. You say no, I only owe you 50. Yeah? You swear that you only owe me 50 and you don't pay. I mean, and you don't have to pay the extra 50. Correct? Then you don't have to pay the extra 50. So what does the oath do? It gets you out of payment. Right? The guy says you owe me 100. I say I only owe you 50. So by swearing, it's not that the guy swears and takes the other 50. I swear and get out of payment. Correct?
The one who owes.
Right. But the case of our Mishnah, when the woman swears, the Mishnah says then she takes the ksuba. That means this oath is an oath which swears and takes. And that doesn't exist biblically.
Doesn't exist what?
Biblically. Even the case of one witness, yeah? And the Gemara is going to discuss this in a second. One witness, I say you owe me $1,000. You say, oh, you nothing. Yeah? And then you bring a witness that he owes him the $1,000. So what is the biblical oath? You swear against the witness. The witness says, I owe him the $1,000, right? I swear I don't. And then I don't pay. So again, all the biblical oaths swear and don't pay. Never do we find a biblical oath that swears and takes. So the question is, in our Gemara, it looks like Meida b'mixas, because she says 1,900, it's like partial payment, but the difference is over here, the Mishnah says the woman swears
To take the money.
and takes, and biblical oaths, swear and get out of payment. So it can be a biblical oath. There's no such thing as biblically swearing and taking.
Is there opinion in the mission that it really is?
No. No.
So according to everybody.
According to everybody. So Rabbi says, how could you say this is a biblical oath? Because it's like Meida B'mixas. This is reverse Meida B'mixas. Meida B'mixas means biblical oath of admitting half, you swear, and you get out of paying. In this case, a woman swearing and taking. Such a biblical oath doesn't exist.
We can't say the biblical oath is like this, that who is right. It's not the point of receiving or giving, it's who is right.
No.
No? It's
No,
not?
no.
It has to be exactly like that?
Because in the normal cases of Meida B'mixas, the one that's denying the debt swears and gets out of it. Here the woman says, you owe me the money, and she's swearing and taking the money. The husband says, I owe you nothing, I pay you $1,000 for the ksuba, right? The woman says, no, you owe me 900. So she's made of mixes. Right? But the bottom line is, made of mixes, normally the person swears and doesn't pay. Here, she's swearing and taking the $900. So it can be a biblical oath. We don't find anywhere biblical oaths that swear and take.
What was the second case, biblical oath, that he said that that's also
Huh?
there's also only getting out of it? The second case of biblical oath, you said there are three kinds, three categories, right? What did
Oh, the last is shomer.
No, not the shomer, the second one.
Eidechad.
Edechad also the same thing?
Also, you swear and don't pay.
Ah.
You swear against the witness. You swear against the witness, and then you don't pay.
The one that want to collect money doesn't swear. The one that want to take the money.
You never, biblically, because rabbinic people have it, biblically, you don't swear and take. You swear to get out of payment.
Where do we swear biblically? Where do we swear rabbinic?
Well, these three also, we said, Meida B'mixas, admit 50, one witness, those two are biblical, and then a shomer, I watched something for you, and you didn't pay me, and it got stolen, so I have to swear. It got stolen, then I don't have to pay it back to you. Which is, again, getting out of payment.
Is that the only biblical thing?
That's the only three biblical oaths. Now, the Chachamim come along in certain cases that you swear and take. But it's all rabbinic.
And this is one of them.
Well, the only question, Rabbi Bar Chama said this is a biblical oath of Meida B'mixas. So Rabbi said it can be a biblical oath of Meida B'mixas because Meida B'mixas swears and gets out. You don't swear and take. That's the only question. They're not arguing on the halacha. It's just the Rabbi Bar Chama says this is a biblical oath that she swears and takes. So Gemara says he can't.
So they're arguing whether it's a
Well, there's a few. Let me give you a few cases. We'll see later in the Gemara. Let me jump the gun a little bit. Where a person swears rabbinically, swears and takes. Okay. You say I owe you money. No. I say to you, you owe me money, and then there's a one witness that says, or it might have been mixes. He admit 50%. Yeah. So normally you have to swear. What happens if the guy is a proven liar, swindler, ganef, that swears falsely? So the Bezdin doesn't let him swear, right? So what do you do in that case? Then the kosher guy swears and takes the money. Because he can't swear. Bezdin's not going to let him swear. He's saying, I owe you only 50. Yeah? I'm the ganef. So you come to me and say, I owe you $100. I say, no, I only owe you 50. So normally, what do I do? In normal case, I swear and don't pay the money, right? But if I'm a liar, Bezdin's not going to let me swear. So what do you do here? So Bezdin, the Chachamim said, in this case, you're going to swear and then you'll take the money. Or another interesting thing. This is a Naschad Rababa case. It's a very interesting case. Somebody goes into somebody's house and steals a becher. Remember that case? Steals a becher. The guy comes and says, "You stole my becher." He says, "No, I didn't steal it. It's mine." I just took it back from you. It's mine, it's not yours. Yeah? And then one witness comes and says, I saw him take the becher.
But he's already admitted that he took it.
1 second. Now, the din of a swearing against the witness, right, means you have to swear against the witness. That means if the witness says you took it, the oath against the witness would have to be, I didn't take it. Correct? That's the Torah says. You have to swear against the witness. Now, the witness says you took it. I also say I took it. I can't swear I didn't take it because I'm telling you I did take it, but it's mine. Right? So I can't swear. So over there's an interesting din. Because he can't swear, he pays.
Wow.
The other guy doesn't take. Okay? But there's another interesting case that we're going to learn soon in the Gemara. It's called Chamani al Pinkase. You work for me, I owe you $100, right? You work for me, I owe you $100. Everybody is fine, I admit. You're the storekeeper. I don't have any cash. You're the storekeeper. I come to you and say, do me a favor. Pay him the $100, and I'll pay you later. Very simple case. The problem is, the worker comes to the boss and says, I never got my money. The storekeeper says, I paid him the money. Now they're both coming to the owner.
Then I paid, he said I never got.
So now they're both asking $200.
Oh.
You're asking his 100, you're asking for your 100. Right? Now, can I swear? I don't know.
You have to pay both.
I don't know. So then you swear that you gave it, you swear that you didn't get it, and you both collect for me $100 each. So over there you also have a case you swear, huh?
But for you?
It has a lot of talents. They have a lot of
He worked for me,
Yeah.
I owe money.
Right.
He says he paid the money for me, so I owe him money,
Okay.
right? Now poor me, I'm out $200 instead of 100. But I can't swear because I don't know. What am I supposed to swear? You gave him the money? I don't know.
But if this one says he didn't get the money, how do you know that guy didn't just keep the money?
He says I gave the money.
Swear. Also, he swears.
So they
both swear.
So the thing is, he swears he gave him the money. The worker swears he never got the money, even though one's going to be lying, by the way. And they both collect for me.
That's unfair.
Okay, that's one thing Rabbi says. So Rabbi says this cannot be a biblical oath. Number one, because you don't swear and take biblically. And another reason why it can't be a biblical oath, you don't swear when there's a denial of a lien on land. Okay? Meaning like this. Biblically, it's exercise. Biblically, you don't swear on land. Now, the woman's ksuba has a lien on a property. Right? So biblically, she can't swear on the land that she didn't get it, because then you're swearing on land. So it can't be a biblical oath. So you must say it's a rabbinic oath. That's what Rav is saying to Rabbi Meracham. You want to say it's biblical because Meidabim makes us. He says, number one, you never swear and take. You only swear and get out. Secondly, it has to do with land. The ksuba has a lien on land, and you don't swear on land. So it can be a biblical oath. Therefore, Allah Amir Rava, Rava says, what's the story over here? Midrabanan. Biblically, there's no swearing here. Rabbinically, the Chum instituted a rabbinic oath. Okay? In other words, technically, biblically, she would collect the whole ksuba. She comes to the ksuba, you owe me $1,000. Husband said, I paid it. She said, no, you only paid me 100. You have to pay me 900. Biblically, what's the din? She has proof. She has a document that you owe me 1,000. There's no receipt. If he paid it, he should have written a receipt or ripped up the ksuba, right? If I have an IOU note and I pay it up, you either rip it up or write a receipt that it was paid. The husband has none of the above. The woman has a kosher ksuba. Okay, she says, you paid me $100, so she's a nice guy, so you pay her $900. But biblically, he has to pay her the whole ksuba. Right? Chachamim said, and then he's explaining why. The paradayik, the guy that pays a debt, is more attentive than the guy who gets paid the debt. In other words, like this. The husband has to pay the ksuba. The woman gets paid the ksuba. Yeah? Who's more careful? The guy that pays. He pays. He knows I paid. The woman got it. I didn't get it. Anyway, so Chum say in this case, the woman has to swear. Just to be safe. And therefore, Rama Rabban Shmuel Chum made her swear. Why? That she should be more attentive to the fact if what she got, what she didn't get, and so on.
Is it also similar to Hamosim Chavar Olav Haraya, the burden is on her?
But she has proof.
I know, but
She has proof. A kosher document signed by two witnesses.
Well, there's the one.
If I have a document, you owe me $1,000, yeah? Kosher witnesses everything, yeah? I mean, what better proof do I have than that?
That's why that was my question originally. What is the point of ketubah? The ketubah says, you owe me. Oh no, Chacham saying, oh, maybe.
No.
Yeah.
He owes it. The question is, maybe he paid it.
Why you have to maybe not?
Well, because just think logically. A father knows he's dying, let's say, or he's divorcing, right? He doesn't want his kids to be bothered with the hassle of all this. Yeah? So he sets away money before he dies to give her. Or he gives it to her. It's logical. He doesn't want to burden his kids with this stuff. So he puts away the money. It's logical.
But I have to give him like receipt or document saying that I paid them.
He thought she'd be honest.
If he didn't pay her, and then dies, would the children be responsible to pay her?
Yeah, the estate. The estate, not the children personally. If the father died penniless, no property, no nothing, and the kids are rich on their own, it's not their obligation, the ksuba. The ksuba is on the estate. Now, they inherit the estate, so therefore they have to pay the ksuba.
From the land?
From the estate. If there's tangible like money or land or whatever it is.
Are we talking about like maybe she would get a extra part of the property?
They would sell the property for whatever they owed.
What is that?
They would sell property.
Yeah,
and
they would
pay
sell the
her
property,
she
whatever it
owed.
is. Okay, now the Gemara asks an interesting question. The question was asked. Pegamis ksubasa be'idim. She admits to getting partial payment in front of two witnesses, and the husband says, okay, like this. The ksuba is $1,000. The woman says, you paid me $100. And that $100 she got paid in front of witnesses. Now the husband says, I paid you the other $900, not in front of witnesses. So I don't owe you the money.
Yes, sir.
Well, let's see what the Gemara says. This is a question of the Gemara. What's the case over here?
I would say yes.
The case is she got paid in front of witnesses. Correct?
Partially.
The $100.
Right.
Now she comes and says, you owe me $900. Doesn't say I paid it, but not in front of witnesses. Now, the question is like this. Mahu. Imi sidapara, do we assume that is true, he paid? Then, if that's the case, then he should have paid the rest of it in front of witnesses. If he paid part of the debt in front of witnesses, then he should definitely pay the rest of it in front of witnesses. Or Dilma, maybe, no, Isram. It happened that these were witnesses who saw the first payment, and the rest of the money, there were no witnesses. In other words, like this. The fact that he paid the first part in front of witnesses and the second part, what he says, is not in front of witnesses, does that weaken his claim?
Yes.
Well, 1 minute. Well, that's the Gemara's question. Do we say, listen, you paid the first part in front of witnesses, then you should have paid the whole thing in front of witnesses. Why did you pay it in front of witnesses? Because you don't trust her. So all of a sudden you're going to give it $900 without witnesses? So that weakens his claim.
No, he didn't.
Or do we say it happens. Now there were witnesses, I did it, and then now there are no witnesses, I gave it without witnesses. That's the Gemara's question.
Not as easy to find two.
Huh?
It's not as easy to find two witnesses in the middle.
That are kosher and you could trust, and yeah.
What about if she says I have two edim that I received $100, but he doesn't have a edim at that part, then it doesn't weaken him, right?
No, then he doesn't. She's messing it up for herself. She said, I got paid. So why should he have to pay her? Let me ask you a simple question. You owe me $1,000. Yeah? And I say, you know what? You paid it already. And you say, no, I didn't. What's the difference?
Can you repeat that again?
Huh?
Can you repeat it one more time?
I say you owe me $1,000. No, you owed me $1,000. And I come along and say, no, you know what? You don't owe me anymore. You paid it. And the guy himself says, no, I didn't pay it.
Does he go by him? No,
What difference does it make?
it does, because in Shemayim, maybe.
Now does he have to pay the money?
Yes, he has to pay the money.
Or the guy now changes his mind and said, yeah, then you owe me the money.
Someone's gonna swear.
So there's what's called Hidoz Baldin Kamei Eidim. Admission of a person is like 100 witnesses.
It's like what?
Like 100 witnesses.
The admission of the receiver.
Right.
Oh, the admission of the receiver.
Well, then the guy would have to pay the debt because
Or
he
not in
admits
the
that
case
he's...
of capital punishment, right?
No. Capital punishment, you can't jeopardize your...
Wait, so you would get the money then?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. You just
No.
said yeah.
Yeah, if he says he owes me the money, I say, no, you don't.
No. The example you said before was you paid me already, and the guy said, no, I didn't.
Right.
So then
But he says that he didn't pay
The
it.
receiver is like better than $1,000.
No, the guy that's obligating himself to pay is
What's
better
the
than...
problem? He's going to force himself to pay.
He has to
I
pay.
thought the receiver, the guy was saying he paid me
No,
already.
he says he owes me the money.
So he's worth 100 witnesses.
If,
Who has more to gain? The receiver. If the receiver said I got it already,
no,
no.
because he can obligate himself to something.
Usually the receiver's the one who benefits most and wants it.
What happens if I say, I borrowed $1,000 from you on Monday morning, yeah, and two witnesses come along and they say, you never borrowed the money Monday morning. It's not true. You never borrowed the money Monday morning. We were with that guy the whole time. He never borrowed. He never lent you the money. What's the din? The din is I have to pay it.
So if the giver says I didn't pay you, then you follow him.
Yeah. Okay, so the Gemara says like this. Toshma, let's try to answer the question. It says in the Brisa, Kol nishban shebetera, all biblical oaths, nishboim v'lei mishalman. Like we said, you swear and you don't pay. Ve'elu nishboim v'neitlen. But these are the ones that do swear and take. Okay? Asachir, a hired worker. Okay? In other words, the case over there, Rashi says, is, I worked for you. I say you owe me money because I worked for you. And the guy says I paid. So then the din is, rabbinically, the guy swears that he didn't get paid and he takes the money. Or a nigzel, a victim of theft. Or a nerbel, victim of assault. Or shekanegde choshid ala shvua, or the guy that's supposed to swear can't because Bezdin's a liar and Bezdin won't let him swear. Or Chamini al Pinkase, the storekeeper on his ledger, meaning I told you pay him and I owe the worker money and I tell the storekeeper pay him and you said I paid him, he said he never got the money. So in all those cases, or a pegim shtore sheloi be'edim, or if somebody impairs the document not in front of witnesses, then the din is those swear and take. But what does it say clearly? Not in front of witnesses. The question of our Gemara is if a guy impairs the ksuba in front of witnesses, but the brisa that says that if you impair the ksuba you have to swear, the Mishnah says clearly only if there's no eidim. Brisa says if there's no eidim, which means if there's eidim, then the din doesn't apply. So Gemara says no. Loi mi boy kamer. Loi mi boy be'edim. No, really, it doesn't matter if there's witnesses or no witnesses. It doesn't matter. The other guy swears and takes. Even when there's witnesses where you for sure have to swear. I would think but not in the presence of witnesses. I would think he's like a guy who's returning a lost object. I'll explain in a second. And then you should be able to take it without swearing. Kamash malon, that you do have to swear. In other words, the Gemara says like this: there's no difference, witnesses and no witnesses. You impair the ksuba, the only way you can take it, or any document, the only way you can take it is if you swear. That's the only way you can do it. Why does the Brisa say without witnesses? Because without witnesses, I would think you're a nice guy. You're giving back money that you really don't have to, meaning like this. The document says 1,000, right? The guy says 900. So the truth is, I could have said 1,000. Right? But that's what the document says. There's nobody testifying against me. Right? So I would think, listen, I'm a nice guy. I'm only asking 900 from you. So maybe I should be able to collect it without swearing, because I'm a nice guy. So then there's no, even then you have to swear. But with witnesses, for sure you have to swear.
With witnesses, you have to swear.
I mean, if the guy impaired the ksuba in front of two witnesses, then, and he wants to collect, then for sure he has to swear, the Gemara says.
The receiver swear.
Yeah, you swear and you take it.
Well, is there the computer? You don't say the man swears? You say the man swears?
No, the woman swears.
Oh, the woman swears.
Because she's the one that wants to collect. So she swears and collect, even though normally you swear and get out of. But this is a rabbinic shvua, that this is, it's a similar case. Somebody says, what's the case of the Meshach Aveda? One case is, a guy says, you owe me, no, I'm mixing up the case. $2, and he said, no, I owe you $3. Okay, no, it's whatever. Okay, forget it. Okay, now, Iboilu, the Gemara asked another question. Okay? Peigamis ksubasa pachas mishava pruta. Okay. Until now the case was, the ksuba was $1,000, she says you paid me 100. Right? So then she has to swear and take the ksuba. What happened if she comes along with exact details? This is when you paid me a half a pruta. This is when you paid me a little bit. This is when you paid me a little bit. This is when you paid me a little bit. So she has all the details clear.
Does she have a receipt or something like that?
No, but she says it was less than the pruta.
What is adding here? What is making it more clear?
Well, Mao, do we say Kivin the Daika Kulai because she's so precise in the reckoning of the payments? Maybe Kush to Ka'ama, maybe she's saying the truth. Or Dilma, no, maybe Yeruma Kamarama, she's making a trick just to get out of payment. It's a zapper, don't worry about it. Mosquito zapper. So the Gemara says take, it's a question.
because she's clear. She's giving a like hint here, there, right?
Right. So Gemara thought maybe because she's so clear, so you see that she knows what she's talking about, so maybe she can just get paid without swearing. In other words, did the Chachamim institute the shvur in that case?
We don't know.
So the Gemara says take.
She could be a good actress.
Yeah, yeah. That's what it could be.
So why they didn't say over there also maybe to swear too? What would be wrong?
What?
In this case also swear, no?
What the halacha is.
No, why we say teku? Maybe also swear in this case. Why
The Gemara said we don't know if she has to swear or not.
no, why Chacham didn't also say swear?
We don't know what the Chacham said. Didn't the Chacham say she swears in this case, or did she not swear? I mean, we don't know.
Oh, we don't know if the Chacham say in this case. Swear.
Right.
Ah,
Right.
okay. I see.
Huh? Okay, Iboilu, another question. Bechases Kesubos Page. Here's a little bit different case. The Kesubah says $1,000. The husband says, I paid you in full. Okay? So the case we had now was she says, no, you only paid me 100. This is a slightly different case. The Kesubah said 1,000. The husband said, I paid you completely. And the woman says, well, the Kesubah is really only 500.
She says this?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he owed her 500?
Right, the Kesubah is really, you wrote 1,000 to make me look good.
Make it look good.
In other words, like this. This is what the Mepharshim explains. People are into looking good. I don't mean makeup. They're interested in looking like prominent people. Okay? So the woman says to the husband, listen, I know the Kesubah is only going to be 500, okay? But write 1,000. Because then my family will see, oh, you see how valuable I am. He's willing to pay me $1,000 Kesubah. You know what I mean? If in the world it looks good that the woman has a higher Kesubah.
Persian do that.
Huh?
Persian do that.
I don't know. The Gemara talks about. Anyway, so the case was like this: the Kesubah says 1,000. The husband said, "I paid it in full." Now she comes along and says, "Yeah, you didn't pay me, but the Kesubah is only 500. So you only owed me lechatchila 500. This is different than you paid me a little bit already." She says, "You didn't pay me anything, but the Kesubah is not 1,000; it's 500." Why did the guy do it? He wanted her to look good, and he trusted her that she's not going to come rip him off. You know, everybody.
But the Kesubah says 1,000 or is it 500?
1,000.
So how,
But she says it was only you only bound.
to 500?
You only committed to 500.
So what's that question?
And then you pay me 100 or you pay me the
I
500?
know the situation.
Not even to the paying yet. We just,
Huh?
we didn't get to the paying yet.
She swear on it.
Well, I mean, first we just discussed the case. Now let's see what the question is. Is this the same thing as the Pegamis Kesubah, impairing it? Is this the same din that you would swear and take? Or over here is something else. But a Dilma Pegamis is like made of bemixus. Okay? One who impairs the Kesubah as a partial admission. Here, she's not admitting anything. She's not admitting anything.
She's just saying he's lying.
Pegamis b'ksuba means the husband says, I owe you nothing. He said, but you pay me 100. So she's giving in to the husband a little bit. Here, the husband says, I paid you 1,000. She said, the ksuba is only 500, but you pay me nothing. So she's not giving in to him at all. So what's the din?
She gets.
But kind of she's forgiven the ketubah too, because the ketubah used to be 1,000, now it's 500.
Yeah, but the concept of Pegamis Kesubasa is basically when she says, you paid me part of it. That weakens it.
Here she's not
The
saying.
question is, does this weaken the power of the Kesubah because she says the Kesubah was only 500 to begin with? See, once the person says the Kesubah is 1,000 and you pay me 100, That means there was a payment done already.
That means what?
A payment was done already. Here there's no payment. Nobody's saying there's a payment done. She says the ksuba was only 500, so pay me 500.
And the ketubah wasn't valid to begin with, and they had to run
And
them
then
up.
she tells people that, oh, it's really 1,000. And then
I mean, it's a crazy scenario
And then she
because why
says-
in the world would a guy trust her?
she says, it's worth 1,000, but he only paid me 500. She tells the husband.
No, that's not the case.
And what he's saying is that the husband and wife, before they got married, said, write 1,000 in the ketubah.
But I only
collect
promised 500.
And he wrote 1,000 in the ketubah, and now later on he's getting divorced, and he said, I paid the 1,000. And she said, no, it was only worth 500.
It is
The husband
polygamous.
denying that? The husband denying that?
No,
Then he
but
paid
I'll
all
tell you.
1,000.
The Gemara asks, maybe, that's the Gemara's question, is it Pegamis Ksubasa? Or he says no. Pegamis Ksubasa means you admit that the husband paid part.
She's not doing that.
Here she's not admitting the husband paid part. He says, you never pay me a cent, but you only owe me 500, not 1,000.
She didn't have to.
So is she weakening his debt to her?
So she's willing to settle, so what's wrong?
No, he says, I owe you nothing, I paid the whole thing.
Oh, does he say?
No, because
Yeah, we said.
he says you can have that.
Of course, if he agrees and didn't pay it, of course he has to pay it. No, we said right away. The case is the ksuba said 1,000. The wife comes with the ksuba to the husband. The husband said, "I paid it all." She says, "No, you didn't." But the ksuba is only 500. Now that is not weakening the payment issue, because she says you didn't pay me a cent.
What makes her a liar? What is it?
If anything.
What is it?
Huh?
What is this? Actually,
That's the Gemara's question. Does she have to swear in that case
actually
to collect the
she's
500?
looking good in this case because she's saying, "Well, I don't say
You know
1,000."
what? Wait a minute, let me flip that around on you. Let's say you paid her 1,000, and she wants to make everybody, like make herself look good by saying, "No, you never paid me. You only owe me 500," to make it look like she's the righteous one.
No,
But
then
actually, in reality,
maybe
she
she's
took
hoping
1,000 and
maybe
spent
she's
it on
hoping to get
500.
maybe she's hoping to get 1,500.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. She took the 1,000, wants to get another $500 out of it by making herself look good. It could be that way too.
Okay. Anyway, so it says like this: Tashma. Let's figure it out. Pecheses tipadu shlei b'shvur. You see, the Gemara says clearly. Brisa says if she lessens the amount of the ksuba, she gets paid without swearing. That means not like pogemis.
If she
Keita, what's the case? Haisik subasa elevzus. The Gemara Brisa says clearly. Ksuba was $1,000. V'amalon, the husband says, is kabalti ksubasich. You got the entire ksuba. Yeah? VMS is kabalti, I didn't get a cent. Ve'ena lamona. And it's only, but the ksuba is only 100. 500, doesn't matter. It's not the full amount. The din in the flashle b'shvur. Okay? Without a shvur. So what do you see from there?
She collects.
She collects and she doesn't have to swear. The Gemara's question, does she have to
the
swear?
question is, why does she have to swear? Maybe she's just
She doesn't have to swear.
Maybe she's never.
1 minute. So the Gemara says, but my Gavya, so what basis is she collecting?
Yeah.
So now the Gemara says like this. What power does she have to collect with this paper? This paper is worthless. It's a lie. The Ksuba says 1,000. It's a false document. The Gemara's question is, well, how is she collecting? Okay, you see, she collects the 500. She collects the $500 without
Maybe
swearing.
he doesn't know her.
So the Gemara says, 1 minute. How in the world can she collect 500 with what? The ksuba? The ksuba is a fake. It's a puzzle ksuba.
Right, so he doesn't know where.
It's a lie.
Okay, so we're never married.
There's never a $1,000 ksuba. So Gemara says no. There was an understanding of trust. In other words, she says the ksuba is valid. It's a valid document. The ksuba says 1,000, you're saying it's 500? She said we had trusted each other.
So they don't make her swear.
Huh?
They don't make her